G'day guys, back to the Outer Circle, and I'm back from holidays and mostly moved into the new house, but back at work, so being a bit light on content. So apologies aside, let's get into it with the Blood Angels of all legions getting an upgrade kit. Now, the Blood Angels don't exactly suffer from a low count model range. They actually have one of the largest model ranges in the Horus Heresy, which makes it a little bit surprising, but not unwelcome. There are plenty of legions that I would have picked first, but, well, there were no special weapons available to the Blood Angels, as it were. So, yep, cool, I don't mind this. Now, let's go through the weapon types here. I'm going to actually start on the top right, because we have Inferno pistols here, and all they've added is a little blood drop underneath. Well, you know, legions like the Salamanders can have access to weapons like this, so it's interesting that they would lock it behind this particular paywall instead of making it like a character upgrade kit in general for all characters in the Horus Heresy and include these sort of weapons in there. You know, like a couple of plasma pistols. Well, actually not plasma pistols because they're in the tactical squad box. Maybe hand flamers, architect pistols, Inferno pistols, that sort of thing could have all been included in a character upgrade set that's just generic, especially if all they're adding is a little blood drop in here. You may as well just molded a dozen of these as separate parts that you can glue on. Anyway, then we've got the bolt guns. So, funny thing I notice here, what hands do we have? We have one hand on each bolt gun. Now, in Heresy 2.0, the second hand is a part of the weapon, as per that assault cannon there. So, these single-handed bolt guns, what arms have we got? Well, we have one arm that's with no hand, and we have a single pointing arm. So, these look like they actually belong with the middle bolt gun. As in, you have one guy in his pose, sort of holding his bolt gun across the chest while pointing across the battlefield. Cool, totally legit pose. What about the other two bolt guns? How many kits do we have where we have spare arms with no hands floating around? It's actually very, very low in the plastics. You would have to take parts from the despoilers or from the Squad Sergeant upgrade little mini sprue that comes, that has the weapons, but it's the spare arms on the basic sprues of Mark 6 and Mark 3 in the new kits that could take it. So it would have been nice if they included, this is what I'm getting at here, the extra arms, both the arm that's holding the weapon and the spare arm, because they're going to need a spare arm that's doing something like pointing or holding a magazine, something like that. Would have been nice if they were included in this kit, because you're missing an arm, essentially. Then we go down to the assault cannon. So, interesting choice of weapon, because a single assault cannon upgrade is kind of worthless. Hear me out here. Yes, there are units that can take, like, one, for example, or two, such as Legion veterans. But you wouldn't. If you're going to take assault cannons, you'll generally choose full units of assault cannons. So think Angel's Tears or heavy support squads or assault cannons, and give you that saturation firepower that they provide. One is like, it's neat, it's cool that it's like Blood Angels horrific. Maybe you could put it on something like an Armistos console, maybe. Yeah, odd choice. Now, as for the Perdition weapons, I designed a nicer mace than that. I'm just going to put it out there. Maybe I will put a picture of that up if I can remember later, because it's been a long time since I touched that STL. But the Perdition weapons are fine. They'll all do the job, and they look fine. So, yep, they work for me. You're not getting many, though, and you're only getting it in power armor. You're not getting anything in Terminator armor. So it means that for the Terminator armored consoles and such, you're still kind of out of luck here, which is a little bit disappointing. And you've got units like the Dawnbreaker cohort, where the Son of the Moon, the Blade of the Moon and the Blade of the Sun and whatever they're called, the paired blades, they still don't have a kit at all. So this isn't terrible, it's just not great, and it reminds me very much of the Sons of Horus upgrades here, where it's like, really? That's the number, the quantity that you've provided, and the bits, and there's just all sorts of issues here. Very much the same sort of thing going on here. And it makes you wonder, because things, like I said, like the assault cannon, really, we already have bulk rotor cannons, and they look almost identical. They really just differ around the ejection port, and the muzzle brake on these has this sort of perforated sheet metal shroud around the muzzle, whereas this assault cannon just sort of has the two bands, a little bit thicker built, a little bit more Lizzo built. Yeah, interesting choice. Then we get this weird little upgrade, which is we get the sort of Baal Predator, the classic twin assault cannon, and a Pintle assault cannon, which looks to be pretty similar size, which is very weird for a few reasons. Now, hear me out here. The Baal Predator, I'm fine with it as a thing in Heresy, and taking them and having the upgrade option, totally cool, totally legit thing. But what about the rest of the Baal Predator? Okay, yes, you can take heavy flamer sponsons, and they come in the Deimos Pattern Predator kit here, and heavy bolters and such, but what about other assault cannons? Like, these are the weapon sprues off the vehicle. And as you can see, all the Pintle weapons, you've got heavy bolter, las cannon, Volkite, and heavy flamer. What about assault cannon? Assault cannon is an upgrade that you can take on the Predator battle tank. You can take that upgrade for Imperial Fists or for Blood Angels, and it replaces the heavy flamer option on the unit. So how come that's a thing, and yet not included in here? Because you're only getting half of the vehicle experience. As for the Pintle mount itself, I feel like this is a redundant item in many ways, despite the fact that, it is useful, and yep, it has these two little bits of filigree crap on it. I feel like we've been down the road of having a vehicle commander miniature released before that had an assault cannon, and if only they could have done something like, I don't know, combine these. Oh. Well, guess it's the thing. So what they should have done here, I'm just going to throw this out there as a crazy idea, is instead of making this really niche Imperial Fist Legion specific crew commander here as a console, what they could have done was made it a generic vehicle commander. I know this is crazy talk, who didn't have any Imperial Fists or Blood Angels iconography, but had an assault cannon. And then the player, especially if he had a torso that you could change out onto those little bit of hips and shoulders, the player could have then come along and put a Blood Angels or an Imperial Fist torso on there, or hell, how's this for an idea? Paint it red or yellow, and just, and it would have saved a skew. It would have saved having an extra model produced by the company, an extra sculpt, that's now got to be kept, and it's got to be kept in, the archives and whatever, and produced and made to order and blah, blah, blah. They could have had one model that served the job in both legions, because it didn't need to be a Decurion Sagittar special thing for Imperial Fist. That was just some Siege of Cathonia wank. And then they could have removed the assault cannon from this set and put two Sponson instead of Pintle assault cannons into this kit alongside the twin assault cannon, and solve that entire problem. Or, hear me out here, go on one step further and remove one more product code by taking this model and bundling him in with this kit with two assault cannon sponsor weapons. And then it would have been one upgrade pack you can buy for Blood Angels and Imperial Fists, and the only redundant part would have been the twin-linked assault cannon turret, which you could put elsewhere in your army. And just like that, we would have cut down products, simplified the... this is why I know it's hard for people who don't know my background, but as a production manager, that's the sort of thing I'd be looking at going, you've made additional products here that weren't required, and you could have condensed the product line just a little bit with a little bit of thought here, which is just put the Sagittar with just blank iconography in with this twin assault cannon and the 2 sponson weapons and sell it as one kit. That's 1 SKU instead of, now it would have to be at least 3. It would have been 1 kit instead of that, and it would have solved more problems than it created. And okay, you might have got this 1 redundant part, but I'm sure you could sell that online somewhere to someone, or just use it for the rule of cool looks wise on one of your tanks that's armed with an autocannon. Just say, yeah, it's twin assault cannons, but it's an autocannon, I just like the look of it. You know, whatever it may be. I'm just throwing ideas out there. So, bit of a weird choice on the vehicles, and some very weird choices on the arms and weapons here. Now, as for the looks of it, and the styling, the iconography, all of that looks great except for the mace. The mace looks very underwhelming. Doesn't look like they really tried to make it Blood Angels. They just sort of made it a regular mace, put some little perforated dots in it because perforations equals perdition, and then put some squiggly S-bends of filigree on there. It doesn't really scream Blood Angels to me. Out of all those weapons, that's just ugly. And it doesn't strike me as the graceful, beautiful Blood Angels should be. But that's just my personal tastes. The assault cannon, yeah, I would have taken that out of this kit and probably just added extra arms in there for the bolt guns because you're missing 4 arms. The one holding the weapon plus the one that's not holding the weapon for each of the other 2 bolt guns. There's only arms for the middle bolt gun realistically here, which is a very strange set of choices that they've gone with in this kit. And like I said, remove the Inferno pistols from this kit, put them in another packet with, hand flamers, with Perdition weapons, maybe some other character upgrade options. People can customize their Praetors similar to the older character upgrade sets in resin that you could buy. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm Mac with the Outer Circle. Please give me your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next video.